I don't fight to lose. Had to show my peers. I ain't had no fear. Player of the year. I made it top tier. Murphy gon' put y'all on. Murphy gon' put y'all on. That's for sure. Murphy gon' put y'all on. Murphy gon' put y'all on. That's for sure. Murphy gon' put y'all on. Murphy gon' put y'all on. That's for sure.
Welcome to the Frank D. Murphy Show, and it's me again, your host, Frank D. Murphy, aka Murph Time. Now, I like this topic, Kay. I'm gonna look at you on this topic because I know you like this topic too.
I love it. I'm
The topic is toxic relationships, toxic friendships. So, what you think? I mean, that's a tough one.
First, for the people, define what you mean when you say toxic.
Toxic means dangerous, deadly. It can be dangerous to your health. I mean, toxic relationships, man, you can get sick over having the wrong relationship and friendships.
That's true.
Deadly to your purpose,
Right.
to the direction and what you're called to do and where you're trying to go.
Right.
It can stop you. It can hinder you.
Right.
That's toxic to me. I don't know. What's toxic to you? Let me hear.
That's the same. It's the same thing. Somebody that can hinder me from doing what it is that is my God-given purpose, or putting me in a situation where I could be harmed. You know what I mean? Like man, I can't wait. Let's get into these questions. I'm so excited.
You just want to kick it back on me. Come on.
Okay. So first things first. Can you really spot a toxic friend or relationship, or is that something that you have to go through in order to figure out whether or not they're toxic?
I don't think you have to go through it. I think you can spot it if you're patient. See, when you're patient, it's perfecting things you can't see.
Okay.
So the longer you're patient, you're able to see something in that person. And you know what's a match or not.
Okay.
But also, I think sometimes we can be a little needy. Our neediness can draw that person that needs us. And because they need us, it can be toxic. But you will stay in that thing. You will stay in there because they need you.
Right.
So don't be drawn to needy people.
So you're saying that some people like being needed.
I mean, I think at some capacity we all want to feel like we need it in this world.
Right.
But when it's for the wrong things,
Right.
that's when we call it toxic.
So how do you know how much time to give to those needy individuals?
I think you set some type of boundaries.
Okay.
When you see a person's needy, you have to put a plan together. A plan failed is a failed plan. Put a plan together and say, you know what? This is what I'm going to do for this person. This is how far I'm going to go for this person. And once it gets to that point, it's time for you to let go. It's time for you to move out the way and see if it's really a true friendship or relationship. So you have to have a plan together when it comes to those type of people, especially toxic people.
But what if you've been like friends or in a relationship for 20 years, 15 years, and you don't want to just throw it away, but everything that comes out of this person is always negative?
You don't want to throw it away? Man up, woman up. That's what I'm saying. It's time for you to man up or woman up. Nah, I think that, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you let it get to that point because you probably already knew it was toxic in the first place. You already knew it was a dangerous relationship.
Right.
But you have to make the decision. Once you see that, believe that.
Right.
See, a lot of people see stuff that people are doing to them, but they don't want to believe it.
Right.
Oh, it's just them. No, you're right. It's just them. That's what they do.
Right.
You start getting used to them doing things that's toxic to you, and you pretty much start getting complacent with that thing.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it becomes normal to you. And now you're used to that person doing you wrong.
Right.
And you should never be used to someone doing you wrong.
Right, yeah, because that makes you dependent upon, that type of behavior. And then going forward, when you look for people, you find the same type of people.
Yeah.
Same type of people. How would you break the habit of finding toxic friends or relationships? How do you break it?
How you break it, you check your energy. I think it always starts with you, self-help. Check your energy and make sure you're not drawing those toxic people to you, because it could be something that you're giving off. I know for me, I help a lot of people. I try to help a lot of people, mentor, life coach a lot of people. So I'm attracted to helping people that may need my assistance. Now, once you start building that as a friendship and building that as a relationship, that can be real dangerous. So it starts with you. I had to get to know myself, Kay, and say, you know what? Just because I help a lot of people don't mean I have to be with somebody because I got to help them.
Right, that's true.
And
That's true.
that came with me self-checking myself.
Ooh, thinking about that makes me think about women who get with men and they get them because they're fixers and they need to fix that man. Have you ever heard of a woman who had to be with a man because she felt the need to fix him?
You don't went so well, because
You saw it coming from here.
A fix, huh? He a fixer.
Fix. Well, she's a fixer or he's a fixer. He gets a woman because that woman, I don't know, she has low self-esteem. And she's a project. I need to fix her. Or a man, or a woman getting a man. Oh, well, you know, he hasn't had a job in 7 years, and, you know, he just needs some help. She wants to fix him. Have you ever seen relationships like that, friendships like that?
Yeah, I think throughout my life I went through relationships like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking about your life.
Yeah, and I'm gonna come back to you.
I
got you. Hey.
So give me an example of something that's happened in your life that is, say, like this, you know?
Uh,
You felt you need to fix somebody.
yeah, I need to fix somebody.
Fix somebody.
I think just the moral of the story is that, you know, in my younger days when I was getting used to trying to build relationships and long-lasting friendships, I think I was looking in the wrong places.
Right.
I think a lot of times we look in the wrong places, then when it turns all bad and it becomes dangerous, we want to blame somebody. But once again, self-help. I was looking in the wrong places for friendships. How I'm going to try to ask somebody who is not even living right to help me.
Right.
I had to go to somebody who was actually doing it.
Right.
You got to go to friends and find friends that's actually doing what you're trying to do, what
Right.
you're trying to become, so
Right.
you can see an image in front of you. Without that image, how will you know? You're just guessing, and you're just taking advice from people who have not been through it, not understand it. And if they don't have no understanding, how are they going to give you advice?
True.
So that's what I had to learn. I had to get away from people that wasn't living the way that I really wanted to live eventually, and
Right.
do the things that I want to do and go to places that I wanted to go. That's how you build friendships. So if you look at my circle now, you
Right.
fast forward, I got wealthy friends.
Right.
I got friends that doing great things in the community,
Right.
books, best-selling books.
Right.
I mean, I'm around successful people. Why?
Right.
Because if you're in a circle and you're the smartest one, I know you heard this before, you need to revamp your circle. Because I know how bad you want to be the smartest one in your circle. You want to act like you know everything. You want to act like you the smartest one because you got your degrees.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people with a lot of degrees trip them up
Yeah, absolutely.
because they think they got it. They think that degree, that piece of paper,
Right.
tells them that you're smarter than that young lady or that young man that hasn't went to college, but you have no street smarts.
Right.
So I think that can lead you into getting a bad relationship as well.
Absolutely. It gets you every time.
Yeah.
That gets you every single time. Okay. The difference between having a successful relationship and a toxic relationship, what would be the examples to you?
What's a toxic relationship?
What's a like truthfully, like most people think that toxic relationships mean, oh, he has to hit me or he has to cuss me out. But that doesn't necessarily always, you know, set the precedent for what a toxic relationship is. What would you say is a toxic a relationship that's toxic that you probably wouldn't be able to tell on the outside?
Well, I think these are key things you look for. If you're around a person and they want to talk about themselves all the time, right? They want to hear nothing but themselves. Second, they down you in public. They down you around other friends. That can be toxic. You just have to watch these things. Also, sharing your private information, things you have told them, and you find out that it come back out, but it don't come back out the way you told them. So you got to look at these things. Oh, let me see if I got another one.
Ooh.
They always arguing with you about simple things because they want to be right.
Right.
So it's things like that you got to take notice of, and you have to act.
Wow.
You know.
Wow, that's crazy because that makes me think. It makes me think of something recently, a story recently in my life that I've had a quote unquote friend that I thought was a good friend, but was actually end up a toxic person.
Well, tell me about that.
Okay, so it was just a friend of mine in the same sorority, and I'm thinking, you know, because we're in the same sorority, we have commonality. you know. But it was like that. Every time I had positive news, you always made it about you and made it negative. Anytime I, wanted to just to build you up, you didn't want to hear that. You always wanted to stay in the negative arena.
Right.
So that brings up another good question, though. Typically you want a circle that's a positive circle, that's a successful circle.
Right.
But what if you have friends that are going through things? Do you cut them off because they're not at your level?
Like I was saying before, it takes work. And I feel like when I was working on myself, I put in that time and that work and that effort. And if that person is not willing to put in the work, the time, and the effort, then you need to rearrange some things, because if they don't want to do it, then they're going to stay the same.
Right.
As you grow, you need people who want to grow with you. If they don't want to grow with you, you're going to grow apart. And when you grow apart, then that's when confusion starts. Because why? You're not on their level anymore. That's nothing bad. You're just not on their level anymore. If you're not on their level, then they're going to feel insecure, more insecure, then they're going to do these things that I just named. They're going to try to downplay everything that you're doing. They're going to talk about themselves all the time. They're not going to want to hear nothing about the good things that you're doing. They're going to spread your business, but it's not going to be the way you told them. It's going to be opposite. It's going to be far away from what you told them, almost like a lie. So, though it's just that simple, Kay, you have to pay attention to who's around you. Right. And everybody, you come to a place where you ask, what's your purpose of being around me? Right. Because that'll lead to why you here.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll know why you're here when I know who you are and what you're here for.
That's very true.
So I think you have to do more due diligence when it comes to friends and relationships.
Right. Okay. Well, what about different circles of friends? Is there such things as different circles of friends that don't interact, that don't touch? Like, I'm your friend, and you got John over there, John's your friend. I don't even know about John.
Right.
Do you think it's important to have different circles and different classes of friends?
I think that'll dictate itself. I think it's something that you can't force. I think when you talk about circles of friends, it has to be a match.
Right.
I mean, I had one example where a friend of mine, he mixed friends. He was like, man, I know I had a friend over here that stayed here, and my other friend stayed here, and the minute I put them together, man, it was like drama came out of it. One was talking about me about that, and the other one talking a little bit more about me. Then we go through text. They texting me this, but they texting them something else. Right. It caused complete drama. So you even have to be careful when you're talking about bringing a circle of friends together.
Right.
Because listen, if you want to go far in life, in everything that you call to do, you have to make sure you're not connected to toxic relationships. Right. Because it'll contaminate what's good. And once you contaminate what's good, that's when things start to fall off. Right. Things that you need to be successful. Right. That's when you start to get a little angry a little quicker. Right. That's when you start to say, you know what, I don't care anymore. Right. So if you noticing yourself changing around that person, but you changing for the worse,
right, that's
the wrong person to be around.
Right.
Immediately you should know that.
I agree. Okay. So do you believe that birds of a feather flock together?
Man, that's a good question, but I do, man. I believe that because, listen, if you got a homegirl and all she do is sleep around, or you got a homeboy, all he do is sleep around, then you hanging with them, I don't understand what's the purpose of hanging with them, because they do things different. They always want to go over here and do this and stay at this person's house, and that leaves you out in the cold. I just want you to think about that. And then how do people see you? You know, I don't know how we can't think that birds don't flock together. I mean, you see the birds flying in the sky, they together, right?
They're together.
They going the same place, right?
Same place, same time.
So that's what I'm talking about. You have to have a spirit of discernment of when to let go. Right. Like if that circle is toxic or if that friendship is toxic, you got to let it go. You know, you have to man up or woman up, basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay. In the spirit of bringing friends and relationships together.
Oh, friends and relationships together, okay.
How do you feel? Is it okay for a woman to constantly bring her female friend around her man who's always giving him a hug, and she want to hug with her titties all on his back and do all the extra. Do all the extra.
It's the extra.
You can see how it's making me mad.
It's the extra. Yeah, don't be getting mad on here. I'll be calling like, hey, you all right? Stop. So you, that's a good question. Now, I think it's called boundaries. I think everybody know that. And you automatically know if that female don't have no boundaries when it comes to your man. It don't matter how much fun y'all have together, it's going to end in destruction. Especially if you love that man. And the same thing too, like, you know, you got your homeboy. I bring my homeboy around, he always up in your face, giggling and skiggling and jiggling and want a hug every 3 minutes like it's something to hug about.
Yeah, what we hugging about?
I'm immediately, see, I'm a little different. See, I get to the point in front of everybody.
Okay, come
So
on,
where
Frank.
where you mess up at is probably where it's gonna shine.
You better get to the point.
I'm gonna be like, hey, that's a little bit too, boy. All right,
Yeah.
you gotta go. And so at the end of the day, I gotta know.
Right.
I gotta know and recognize that. A lot of people don't pay attention because they want to keep that friendship. I don't have people say, but we have so much fun together. We do so many things together. Oh, we've been together for 10 years. All that don't matter if they're showing you that what they doing in your life can be toxic and that it can destroy who you are as a person, because it can. Because you're not living for you anymore. You living to make sure this toxic relationship is still intact so you can still go with this person, have fun, and still look the way you look. And the way you looking right now is not good. I don't want to say the word, but you ain't looking good. And that's because you made the bad decision of staying in a toxic relationship and a toxic friendship. You got something else for me? That was the last one. Because I don't want you to get mad, dog. You up here, man, you talking about putting your breast and putting your you was getting mad. I'm finna, hey, we finna. Listen, y'all, I'm finna close the Frank D. Murphy Show, but listen, honestly, go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. That's what I want to leave you with. Go where people celebrate your greatness, not tolerate you. If they're tolerating you, it's like, oh, here they go again. They don't see nothing good in you because they're not good. That's just the truth. It's nothing wrong with you, it's them. Go where you celebrate it, not tolerate it. It's your boy, Frank D. Murphy. Thanks for joining the show. We'll get at you next time. What you got to say, Kay? Nothing?
Nothing.
Throw your hands up. We out of here.
This is the Frank D. Murphy Show. Used to play for the Buccaneers, now I'm head coach. I got young minds that'll lift up and ain't flying coach. I had a hard life and I ain't made it, and I ain't think that I was gonna make it. Incarcerated, but I still